Yup. What's good, y'all, man? We got Marvel Studio announced official Phase 6 to 7 release dates. You feel me, man? I know y'all excited for it. You feel me? Because we want to know what's 25 coming, being like 2026 or whatever year they got going on. You feel me, man? And dates and stuff in months. But yeah, like it up, sub, and yeah, let's see what's going on.
What's going on, guys? Welcome to Everything Always. My name's Michael Roman, aka Allfires. Now, even though Marvel Studios absolutely blew the doors off with their Hall H announcements last week, some people
They went crazy on that shit. I ain't even know it. That was a good surprise. Like, and they did say it's gonna be something good from San Diego Comic Con. They did say that shit. They did say that, and they did deliver. He did deliver though. I ain't gonna lie. They did deliver. My
People
opinion
noted
was good.
that with the films they did talk about, there were certain films they didn't talk about, like the previously announced Armor Wars and Blade were mysteriously absent from the presentation, and
Yeah, is they gonna do that though, or that's just cancel? Like it's something. Yeah, I'm saying.
they didn't fill in any dates as far as 2026 and 2027 around those two Avengers films to let us know if any other films were coming. This year, we only got one Marvel movie. Could it be that we would only get one Avengers film in 2026, one Avengers film in 2027, or even worse, have to wait until next year to find out? Well, in this week, in between both San Diego Comic-Con and then next week's huge announcements at D23, Marvel Studios took to the Hollywood trades, this time Variety, to fill in the majority of their Phase 5/Phase 6 release dates, taking us all the way up to 2028. There are plenty of new dates on here surrounding the two Avengers films. We're going to break down all the new dates announced, try to attribute films to them if we can, and interestingly enough, Blade is still slated for next year in 2025.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I saw it on Twitter. I'm like, how Blade is still slated 2025, even though they ain't do nothing yet. Unless they doing something quietly and we just don't know. Cause there's some movies like that too. Like we don't hear about them, but it's because they've been silenced. Not like them silent, but they just been silenced on the movie. They don't want nobody to know you know what I mean, today. So maybe it's that though. Like just keeping it low key and yeah, you know what I mean. But I don't know.
We're breaking it all down, the newest round of official release dates for Marvel Studios. But first, if you could grab the subscribe button. We do daily Marvel content at the channel, that's all we do. So if you hit the sub button and leave a comment down below, that automatically enters you to win our ongoing PS5 giveaway. Stick around at the end of the video, we get into all the giveaway stuff again there. Also, my band Allfires is playing our very first show in Atlanta, Georgia on September 1st. So if you live in the area or you plan on being in town for one of the million things going on that weekend like Dragon Con, tickets are cheap, only $15 but limited. So we would love to see you guys at the show. I'll leave a link down in the description and in the comments, and if you do come by, make sure to stick around after the set and say hi. I'll definitely be hanging out. Okay, so two things. Number one, this is not coming from the rumor mill. This was actually published in Variety earlier today, and even though these are the Marvel Studios dates, they actually came as a larger part of Disney's new release dates over the next couple of years. It's just that, well, at this channel we focus on Marvel. So for 2025, the dates are February 14th for Captain America Brave New World, May 2nd for Thunderbolts, July 25th for the Fantastic Four, and again, interestingly enough, as I mentioned during the prologue, Blade is still somehow slated for
Yeah, it was. so we getting 4 movies then. Okay.
November 7th. Now, they've
for 2025, four movies. Is that high or is that low? Let me know comment below. Is that too much? Let me know comment below, y'all. Too much movie on the same year? Let me know.
Gotta get cracking on.
Cause that one movie, we did Mario back then used to do 2. So that one movie, this Deadpool, was it brings back the old Marvels, like they had 1 or 2, and we had to wait. You know what I mean? Such. But that's good they started doing 3 or 4. I mean, cause I don't know, the die-hard fans love Marvels and shit. You know what I mean? The die-hard fans, not the people that just be on so shit. The die-hard fans.
On that ASAP, and I'm going to explain why in a second, but there aren't really too many dates for them to be able to move that to 2026 or 2027. Now, as far as 2026 is concerned, there's a to-be-announced Marvel film on February 13th, Avengers Doomsday is on May 1st, and another to-be-announced Marvel film on November 6th. So February 13th and November 6th for 2026. No other dates for Blade to move into, and the two films that are going to fill in those dates are Armor Wars, which I suppose would be February 13th, and then Spider-Man 4, which I think would be November 6th. Could be back to front in those, but those will be the only two movies other than Avengers Doomsday that come out in 2026, and for now, the only two other films that come out from Marvel Studios, aside from Avengers Secret Wars on May 7th, that brings us to 2027, where again, Secret Wars is on May 7th, and then to be announced, we have July 23rd and November 5th of that year. A lot of us assume that's where we may see the X-Men reboot film come after Avengers Secret Wars.
Yeah, I think so too. Though when they get done at Secret Wars, then we're gonna start seeing X-Men. Just a lot of X-Men characters. Yeah.
Perhaps some Midnight Suns. But as I said, Blade does not really have much room to move around, and especially considering one of the pieces of this announcement today in the article by Variety was Marvel Studios actually removed a release date from 2026.
Yeah, I heard that shit on Twitter. I heard that.
They are going to put out 3 movies a year as part of this new directive to sort of release less content, which is still crazy to think that a movie studio putting out 3 contingent franchise films a year and keeping up that pace is somehow in some way downsizing, but still, it doesn't look like they're going to push a 4th movie in on 2026, and there are so many film titles that don't have room in the end of the multiverse saga that could end up taking a couple of those slate dates in 2027, like a Thor 5, like a Shang-Chi 2, like a Doctor Strange 3. These are all titles that we had heavily anticipated would have sort of an important role in the multiverse saga to bring some of these major characters back before we get to Avengers Secret Wars. There's just not enough dates left on the calendar for them to do this, and we know that unless they end up canceling that project, Armor Wars is going to take one of those dates, and Spider-Man 4 is going to take another. Speaking of which, Spider-Man 4 has been so mysteriously silent. We've got more updates sort of from the rumor mill about films like Thor 5 that haven't been announced, that aren't even 100% happening.
Oh yeah, look on boy.
We've heard more about those plot details, indications for what the film might look like and feel like, new tones, directors. Then we've heard about Spider-Man 4. The only piece of official update we've gotten about that was Kevin Feige mentioned there was a good chance they weren't going to go back to John Watts for the next film, confirming it's going to happen. It's just from Sony's standpoint, you have to imagine that they are absolutely trying to speed forward and fit that film into the multiverse saga, because you don't want to have a Doomsday or an Avengers Secret Wars and not have Spider-Man involved. Well, certainly the fans don't want that.
Yeah,
Marvel
true
Studios and Sony don't want that either. Speaking of what the fans don't want, I'm going to have no problem with them going down to 3 movies per year, but with 2025 already full the way it is with the projects that they've chosen, man, do they have so much world building to do ahead of them. It could be said that the first Avengers film, even though there was some connective tissue from the Iron Man films, really found the Avengers meeting each other for the first time, having their differences, but learning to work together as a team and becoming a team during that first film. But we're just so late in an important saga, and surely Doomsday is going to have a lot of explainers in the way of the plot for what's going on with Robert Downey Jr.'s Victor Von Doom. So just the world building there alone, knowing that the Avengers team has to congeal and form and still has completely spread out, then all of those post-credit scenes with new introductions like Hercules, Clea, Scar, one after another, and never revisiting them, it's just very hard to see. And even with 2 specific titles, even if it wasn't Spider-Man and say Armor Wars, if it was Thor 5 and Doctor Strange 3, how they would make up this ground. But when it is a story like Spider-Man 4, which we expect is going to be certainly more self-contained to him, his story, and the street level hero he's become, and maybe a film like Armor Wars that would be earthbound, I just wonder how much world building they can do. How far can they get this story before we're thrust right into Avengers Doomsday, and then after that Avengers Secret Wars. Maybe a lot of this will happen during the Fantastic Four film, because I certainly don't expect that it's going to happen in Brave New World, the Thunderbolts, and Blade. That's of course if Blade can even find a way to come out next year, which fingers crossed. But man,
yeah, because unless they just doing quietly productions.
That doesn't look good either. You guys let me know all your thoughts though down below, how hyped you are for any of this, and if you sort of had your choice of titles that you'd like to see as the 2 films surrounding Avengers Doomsday and Avengers Secret Wars. Let's pretend for a second it's not Armor Wars and Spider-Man. What do you think are the 2 most important titles? I'm all ears as always. Quickly, let's get into the giveaway stuff before I let you go. All right, we are still giving.
But yeah, though. But yeah, we see though, man. We see it's a lot of good films coming out. 25. I saw it on Twitter. You know, and then the other one 26, and then so on, so on. So hey, let me know kind of below. You feel me? Marvel's never left though. I don't know if people can say Marvel's is back. Marvel's never left though. So yeah, stop with that. Marvel's back though. You feel me? Marvel's never left. But yeah, like it up. So let me know what y'all think. And yeah, peace.